Morning, students. A warm welcome to our English session of today. How are you, my dear students? Very fine. Don't while away the time. Make use of the time, right? So, last week, few students came to the school with a one-word questions answer to submit the answer to the school. They are very happy to come to the school, and I too met them and asked them, touch your conscience and tell me whether you have done the test properly without referring to the books. And for that, everybody just laughed, smiled. No one has done it honestly, right? And again, I asked whether you have referred all the one-word answers by yourself and wrote the answer. For that too, they have said no. So maybe 1 to 5 you find out the answer, 10 to 20 you find out the answer. So they form one group there. And what is the use of this test, children? Just think it. Even if two answers are correct, no problem. But it must be your answer. You have to do it. So hereafter, don't. It is just try cheating yourself. Cheating yourself. Not. We are not going to lose anything. So take it seriously. Take the test seriously and work honestly and don't waste your time. Right, children? Right. So 2 weeks back, I took the lesson, the status of Tamil as a classical language, right? And there is a great, what I can say, humor behind it. I went to the school. When I was there, somebody said that new editions of the textbooks have come. Check whether any portions are deleted, all these things they have said. So I just gave a request to our office and got a new edition of the English textbook. And very quickly I opened it and checked. There are 6 units. I am very well satisfied with it. Nothing is deleted, nothing is added. And I checked the first two lessons title also. First two I checked and found out that it is the same. So with that I was very satisfied and kept that new edition in the school and came home with the old edition and prepared my classes. And I was not aware that something is changed there. And when I took the first class, one of our students just gave a message. Just she messaged and said that, ma'am, it is not the status of Tamil as a classical language, it is the chair, she said. I couldn't understand what she means. So I did not, I thought that 2 videos together I have given to the office. So they might have just mixed it or changed it. That is why she has given this information, I thought. And after 1 week has passed, and after that again, the same student rang up and told me, ma'am, this is the thing that has happened. When she was ringing up, I just came from the school to home. Again, I ran back to school and took the new edition of my book and checked that that lesson is changed, right? It is a very great blunder. I could say that it is a blunder committed by me. Anyway, you have learned something about the status of Tamil among the other languages. That will be beneficial to you. Some information you have got. Just leave it. Now the next, the previous class I told you that I will be proceeding with the poem, thinking that this lesson gets over. Am I right? Right. But it is not over. Again, we have to go from the beginning, right? So the lesson is the chair. So what is that? What you expect that the lesson will be when you read that it is a chair? It is a chair. It is about a chair. So the author of the this book is that prose piece is Raja Narayana. Raja Narayana. K. He Raja Narayana. So people used to call him as Kia, 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 right? Very lovingly, people call him as Kia, right? He's a very good writer, very humorous writer, we could say. Not a very good writer, we will say he's a humorous writer, right? Um, he wrote folk tales. This story, The Chair, is written in 1969, around 1969, and the original title of that book is, that prose piece is Narkali. We will say that in Tamil as chair, we call it, say, as Narkali. So he wrote it as Narkali in Tamil, and it was translated into English as The Chair, right? And some novels he has written, Gobala Gramam, Gobalapurathu Makkal. All these are small stories, novels written by this Kian. And here in this story, the chair, lesson the chair, humorously he has written something about the chair, right? The gist of it I will just give you, and after that we will read it and understand what is there. That is, there is a particular village. In that village, nobody knows about a chair. Nobody knows about a chair. Not only that particular home, the other's home, the whole village doesn't know about the use of chair, because they have not seen it at all. Nobody in that village has got a chair, right? That is the condition. So once one great man, one judge, he came to that home, and friend of the author. He is a little bulky man, stout man, and these people uses a stool-like thing. We will call it as mukkali with 3 legs, right? When people comes, they used to provide them with that 3-legged seat to sit. And once that old fat man came there, and that peculiar mukkali has a peculiarity, that is, if they are not sitting properly on it, it will tumble over. If they are not sitting one side, if they just move a little or something like that, it will just tumble over, and the person who is sitting over it may fall. So that is the condition of that this thing. The mother of the home use it for preparing buttermilk. She just made the stool, keep the stool, the pot over the stool, and with that she crushed the this curd into buttermilk. For that, they were using it. So on that particular day, the man came and they made him to sit on the stool. Since he doesn't know the trick that he has to follow, he fell down from the stool, that stool with the 3 legs. And the inmates of the home laughed like anything. They were bursting out with laughter. And so, since this incident has happened, the home people, the inmates, they have decided to buy a share for the home, right? So, in the agenda of the home, that month's agenda, it is said that they have to buy a chair. What is agenda? In meeting, before meetings, there will be an agenda. What all the things to be discussed, right, in the meeting. Just like that, in this month's agenda, it is said that they have to buy a chair. Now, so far they do not know what is a chair, right? How it will be. They don't have a model. Each one of the inmates says that we can just use this chair which is made of this wood. We can utilize a carpenter from the next village, because this village has no people who knows to make chair. And this tree is that neem tree is better, teak tree is better, just like that. Each one is giving their own suggestions. And finally, the Mamanar, that mother's brother of that home, came. And he said that, yes, I too need a chair. I too need a chair. And so they made an order for 2 chairs in some other village. Then maybe the neighboring village. And the 2 chairs are brought. They are identical. Just like Rama and Lakshmana. Right? Just like Rama and Lakshmana. They are identical. And one is one is here in this other's home, the other one is sent to the Mamanar's home. Right? After that, when people die, that village has the custom of making that dead body to sit. Even now this culture is there in some of our villages in Tamil Nadu also, India also. So they will make the dead body to in the sitting position, and they will do the final rituals. So far in this village, they use this grinding stone, that is that oral, we will say, that for the people to sit, dead people to sit. They use that one so that it will be a little higher, just like a stool maybe. So far they were using that grinding stone for this. But since the chair has arrived, when the chair is brought to that home, the whole village people just came in groups to see what is a chair. And one person died, and they came and asked the chair. And till now, all the children of the home, they used to sit, they vie with each other, and sometimes there will be fight who will sit there over the chair, all these things. And when that dead person's people asked for the chair, these inmates provided them with this chair, particular chair. And they used it, and after the burial, the chair is brought back to the other's home. And they cleaned it very well using buckets and buckets of water with all the sanitizers, everything. And it was there in one corner of the home. Now the children of the home just ogle there. They are scared of sitting there in that chair. They never used it. And they thought that it can be that Mamanar, how he's basically that is what this people of this home thought. Mamanar is a conjuice person. He will never do a good thing to others, all these things. Now, one day they went there, and there is no chair in his home. And when these people inquired that Mamanar, what happened to that chair? He was sitting on the floor, and there is no chair to be seen in that home. And just like Rama and Lakshmana, the one chair is given to them, identical chair. But it is not there. When they inquired, that man said, Mamanar said that, I have given it. One person came and asked for keeping the dead body, and I have given it. And after that, I did not get it back. And so hereafter, after that, whenever somebody dies, they utilize it and keep it for this purpose. In one place, they may keep it, and when it is needed, they will come and get it. Right? And so far, the inmates of this home thought that this person is a conjure person, Mamanar. He will never do good to others. He will never spend for even the necessary things. But now they understood that he is a very generous person, right? That Mamanar is a very generous person. So, what is the moral of this chair is appearances are often deceptive. Appearances are often deceptive. By seeing the outward appearance, you may think that Mamanar is a conjure, stingy person, right? But he has a generous heart to give his precious chair to the usage of the for the usage of the people of the village, right? In between, some stories are narrated. Just we will see it line by line, right? Now, take your textbook, children, in page number 143. Page number 143. The Chair by K. Rajanarayan. And there is a crossword puzzle which is given with some clues below. Do it as homework. It is very easy and you may enjoy doing it, right? Now, read the following story about a family that does not have a chair. Perhaps the entire village hasn't seen a chair. The narrator amusingly narrates their plan of actions and the aftermath humorous incidents that happened after the arrival of the chair. So here Rajanarayan very humorously, amusingly, very jovially he narrates the plan of actions, what all the plans they have taken, how they plan to get a chair, and the aftermath humorous incidents. And after the chair is brought, what all the humorous things that happened in the home is narrated in this story, right? Very interesting to read, and you read it. We will see what is there. A house without a chair. Suddenly, everyone in our house began to feel this way. That was it. It was put on the family agenda and discussions began. So, how can be there a home without a chair? It is not possible. It should not be. So, each one of the family members are of the opinion that they have to buy a chair. So, in that month's family agenda, discussions were made how to buy a chair for the family. The day before, why they have made an urgent agenda is here in the next paragraph. The day before, a family friend had paid us a visit. One of our family friends came to our home the previous day. He was a sub-judge. He is in high position. Sub-judge. Couldn't he have come like one of us in vesti and shirt? He did not come to our home in vesti and shirt. That is the traditional dress of us. No, he arrived in suit, boot and all. So he came in suit and boot. That is a Western culture. Since he is a judge, he has that get-up. There was only a three-legged stool in our house. So we have only that furniture. That is three-legged stool. He said, Mukkali we will say. It measured a mere 3/4 feet. That is, it is a very big stool. To churn curd, it is used to make buttermilk from the curd. Tayir kadaivathu we will say. For that purpose, this party of the home used it. Party, our grandmother would sit only on it. My grandmother will sit over the stool and she will churn the curd. She was quite heavy. She's having a stout body. Our grandfather had asked the carpenter to make it somewhat broader. Since our grandmother used it only for this purpose, and since she is a little stout in figure, she is a little stout, our grandfather has asked the carpenter to make a broader stool with a broad basement. The sub-judge too was a little portly, since he did not possess any other furniture. We brought that for him. Our sub-judge is also a little stout in structure. Since we don't have any other furniture, we brought the stool for him, that stool with 3 legs for him. Placing one hand on its edge, he made to sit down. Since it is a broader one, our grandmother is very familiar with the usage of it. And this new sub-judge, he is not at all familiar in using this. And he just hold that one edge of it and sat over it. One wretched thing about this stool, if you didn't place the weight exactly above the legs, it would topple over. One peculiarity of the stool is, if you don't sit over the leg part of it, it will topple over. Ever so many times we had fallen down when we stood on it carelessly to steal ghee from the rope net. Very often we used to fall from this um, 3-legged stool. Very often my grandmother used to keep the ghee in the rope net. You know what is rope net? Now this rope net is not at all used in our homes. In olden days, maybe your grandmother's, the previous generation, great grandmother's generation may use it. When we were small, my grandmother used to use this rope net. This roofed house, we have this uttaram and all these things. Just over that, they will just made of rope it is, right? And it will be tied. At the bottom, there will be a circled like thing. And 2 or 3 ropes like it will be, right? I'll tell you how it is. See, this is the rope, this is the roof. From there, they will tie one rope like thing with the 2 or 3 this thing. And here there is a circle. This also is made of rope. And this precious things, sometimes cats will come and take away the things, or sometimes rats will just take away. So they used to keep the things which they have to keep, protect from this cat and all these things. They will keep it in the rope net, right? Just like that, our grandmother, this grandmother used to keep the ghee in this rope net. And when in her absence, we used to take the stool, put it just below that, and just climb over it and steal the ghee, and we used to eat it, right? And while we are doing like this, very often we used to fall. Poor thing, just as we were about to caution the sub-judge, he fell down with a thud and rolled over. So before just we could recognize that he is going to fall, he fell down from the chair. Me, myself, the other, my brother, and my little sister could not contain our giggles. We were laughing like anything, but we cannot laugh it out also because he is a guest, and that too a sub-judge he is. So we were controlling, and because of that control, that giggling is coming out. In the classroom also, when the teacher takes class, you have some discussions, maybe about the teacher or the way she teaches, and one person will could not control it sometimes, and there will be jiggling. The teacher gets angry and she will just make the girl who was jiggling to get up, and some punishments would be. I could remember an incident which happened when I was studying in my B.Ed class, right? In the B.Ed class, I was studying in this Artur College. There was one teacher who was teaching English. And I have a friend, very brilliant student she is. And she also was a retired person now, right? And this girl, I used to sit together in our seat. And this teacher, he comes and sits he started to teach. In between, he talks some blunder grammar mistake, sentence with some blunders. So I'll be just listening to him. I'm a little calm and quiet. But she's a little naughty girl. So she just just give some signal with the leg, and she's just very slowly she whispers, and I used to burst out with laughter by hearing the comment of my friend. And the teacher, he makes me to get up. Even, but I was not wrong, right? I was just listening to the teacher very sincerely. And she is the one who just criticizes the teacher. And because of that criticism, I just burst out. And I was punished. I was made to stand up. I stood up. And she was, the peculiarity of my friend is, when that, when I was laughing like anything, when I was punished, the teacher asked some questions to the whole class. And she was very well answering that, right? She was making fun of, at the same time, she is listening to the class. Even now, when we meet, we used to narrate the story, how we were, how I was punished for her mistake, right? Just like that, the children jiggled because they could not control the laughter. So we ran to the back garden. Since we could not control it, maybe if we laugh like anything, it will be an insult to that sub-judge. So we ran away to the garden at the back of our home. Just as we thought our chuckles had subsided, our sister would mimic the sub-judge, leaning her hand and rolling on the floor. Our laughter only lengthened. As we are subsiding, after laughing for a long time, our sister just narrated, just acted how the sub-judge fell down and he was rolling. And again, our laughter improves. Started. Again, it lengthens. We again began to laugh. Right? Just go through it and come for the next class with read it. Finish up the homework also. Okay, children? And the test is given, I think. I think you have written it. Finish it. And the first unit I have not asked because already we have completed one 50 marks question from the first unit. So I just left the first unit and the remaining I have asked. So hope you have done well. Prepare your lessons, children, and come for the next class. Till then,